If you think moving to Reno means trading in your surfboard for a snow shovel, let me stop you right there. Because the truth of moving to Reno isn't about lifestyle only. It's about giving yourself a raise and doing so without working an extra hour. Hey, I'm Raynor, your go-to realtor for all things Reno. And if you're watching this from California wondering if Reno's really the right move, you're about to find out while thousands of families are moving from the Bay Area in Southern Cal right over the mountain and calling Reno their new home. Because Reno isn't just cheaper, it's smarter. It's the West's best kept financial secret with over 300 days a year of sunshine and zero income tax. As a California and Nevada broker, I expanded my business and made the move back in 2015. And honestly, it's been the best decision I've ever made that didn't involve tacos or marrying my wife. At the time, I was burned out with taxes, the regulations, and all of the politics that come with running a business in California. It just kept piling up week after week and month after month. I felt like I was constantly trying to swim upstream. Every year it seemed like it got harder to grow, to breathe, and to build the life that I was looking for me and my family. Then I made it to Nevada and everything changed. Life got lighter, got clearer, and definitely got a whole lot cheaper. That's because I found out the cost of living here was significantly different than it was in California. My auto registration, for example, half. Insurance for my autos were half. Insurance, half. Utilities, half. My stress load, ironically, ended up being a lot lower, predominantly because of the culture and just how genuine the local community here has been. But it wasn't strictly about the savings. A lot of this had to do with the freedom. Doing business became enjoyable again. I began to be optimistic and looking forward to what was coming every day. And then there was this energy that I discovered. It's growth, it's opportunity, and it's that small town community feel that you just don't find in very many places across the country anymore. What can I say? Reno's a special place. And when we're not working, there's no shortage of things to do, whether indoor, outdoor, and across all 4 seasons. That's because we have over 800 live events every year. There's always something that just makes you go, this feels like home. But here's the thing. I know I'm not the only one that's felt that way. And if you're in California right now feeling squeezed by taxes, by traffic, or by regulations that make it much harder to run a business than what it should be, well, I understand. I felt that way too. I also know what it feels like to wonder if or where there could be a better life. All I can tell you is I found it firsthand, and it's been right here by joining Northern Nevada. Because when you finally make that move, it's not about just changing a zip code or an address. This is about a complete reset on the quality of life. So let's talk about what that actually looks like. We're going to cover the real numbers, the real savings, and the top 10 reasons we hear coming back from families who decide to come and call Reno their home. Reason number 1, and probably the biggest elephant in the room, is housing. In San Francisco, the average home runs right at about $1.2 million and just climbs from there. In Reno, the median sales price is about $585,000. That can afford you a 3 or 4 bedroom house and possibly even with a view. That's the difference between a mortgage approval and needing therapy. Even rent in San Francisco is approximately $4,500, and a comparable property here in Reno only runs $2,400. You get double the space, a garage, and neighbors who actually make eye contact. And if you're looking to buy, that same down payment that you would use there would actually purchase double the square footage. That means a home office, a gym, and a yard, and all without that HOA that's going to fine you for breathing too loud. And according to Forbes, homes here are about 50% less than they are in LA and approximately 55% less than you will find in San Francisco. Reason number 2 is where things get really spicy. We're talking about the silent wealth builder, called taxes. According to the Tax Foundation, California has taken the lead for charging the most state income tax of any state in the country, starting at 13.3% and climbing from there if you're a high net worth earner. In Nevada, zip, zero, not even a participation trophy. No income tax, just sunshine, space, and math that won't make you cry. And back to those high income earners, well, I had a friend relocate here just a couple of years ago from California because his monthly savings was over $25,000 a month, of which he was given to the state of California. They were bleeding him dry like a bad divorce, except this time the ex is the state, and that alimony came due every Friday. Reason number 3 that we hear from families that have relocated here is all those day in and day out little nickel and diming things that really add up at the end of the month. And let's be honest, it's not generally the large items that kill families in California, it's death by 1,000 avocado toasts. Referencing Forbes again, fuel here is 11% less than it is in Los Angeles, and it's 14% less when compared to San Francisco. Utilities are also 19% less when compared to Los Angeles, and a whopping 45% less when compared to San Francisco. Healthcare is another big major concern for a lot of families, and when compared to Los Angeles, we are 13% less and 32% less than compared to San Francisco. And then we get down to those consumables that we use every day. So miscellaneous service and goods are approximately 19% less when compared to both of those locations, and that does include your groceries. Housing again is 51% less than when compared to Los Angeles and 55% less when compared to San Francisco. Meaning a standardized home in San Francisco will cost you about $1.3 million, and that same home right here in Reno could be purchased for just under $650,000. Car insurance has been another major topic that we hear back from families, and it's about 40% less than what we see in those areas, with an average being about $1,600 a year in Nevada, and it's $2,800 in California. So when we combine all this stuff together, we're about 44% less when compared to Los Angeles and 57% less when we compare to San Francisco. The fourth reason why families are making that jump, well, our economy is on fire. This is not the sleepy little cow town anymore. This is a tech hub with hiking boots. We've had a 35% jump and growth since 2015, all thanks to Amazon, Tesla, Google, and Switch. And now with companies like Vantage, Nova, Track, and Powerhouse, it's growing even more because they have showed up, joined the party, and they're dumping billions of dollars into our local economy. These aren't little, small, temporary projects either. These are long-term economic growth machines that are here to stay. Reno's unemployment is well below the national average, and wages are climbing fast. So when you move here, it's not about just that cheapest mortgage. You're getting ahead of the fastest growing job market in the West. I have 2 personal favorites on this list, and number 5 is close and near and dear to my heart. It's all about the lifestyle. Lake Tahoe is literally in your backyard. And this is where it really gets unfair. Reno gives you both access to everything and the time to enjoy it. With only being a little over 30 minutes from Lake Tahoe, you can ski in the morning, golf in the afternoon, and still be home for that dinner at night. What about the beaches? Well, we have Lake Tahoe. That's the ocean's cleaner, prettier little cousin. But back to the everyday grind, well, the local commute here is only approximately 22 minutes when in comparison to the Bay Area with over 57 minutes, and we're not even going to discuss the 405 at rush hour traffic. Because nothing says California living like 18 lanes of therapy that I didn't ask for. So unless you're within walking distance of your job, well, you're going to get back at least 5 hours a week back into your life. And that's all before we talk about how much time you're going to save by not standing in those DMV lines in California. Reason number 6 is one of those things that really hits families right at the core of their life. That's healthcare and schools. Well, got good news for you. Reno's been busy. So if you're worried that you might be sacrificing healthcare or your kid's school, well, just know Reno's been leveling up. Renown Health is actually in the process of building a $1.8 billion medical center. In addition to that, we now have Northern Nevada Sierra is now building a new campus. UNR also joined and are now building out an expansion, and that will be in near Midtown. And if you're currently on Kaiser, well, we got good news. They've decided to join and build out with Renown. They're opening a new health plan and outpatient care system opening in 2026. And for the families that are wondering about schools, you've got Coral Ridge, Sage, Basis, and the Davison Academy. These are among the best rated schools in all of Nevada. So this isn't a downgrade, you're literally upgrading your life. And if you're like me, reason number 7 is critical, and that's connectivity. It's about easier access with a lot less stress. That's because the Reno Tahoe International Airport is undergoing, and it's currently under construction, doing a $1 billion renovation. That means more gates, more terminals, and more non-stop flights going into most major U.S. cities. Currently in the mix is LA, Orange County, San Diego, Seattle, Dallas, Austin, and we've added in New York. So you'll get small town city living with big city access, and all without those TSA lines that look like a Taylor Swift concert. Personally, I fly a lot. My average time from the curb to my gate runs about 15 minutes, but I do have a TSA pre-check. The airport's very easy to navigate, find your way around, find the shopping, get through the security. I would compare it to Sacramento or San Jose, and they have that kind of layout and feel to it, but it's even quicker. But watch my other video I'll link above here talking about the renovations while under construction for the next 1.5 to 2 years. It could delay some of those times. But one of my best favorite parts about it is from just about anywhere in Reno, I can be at the airport in just under 20 minutes. Reason number 8 that we hear back from a lot of families is very simple. It's worth a quick mention, and that's the quality of life here. Reno has over 300 days of sunshine, clean air, and less crime than Las Vegas, Sacramento, or Oakland. It's a smaller city that still punches above its weight class. You get more trails, more events, and a lot more community than a lot of people expect when they move here. So if you're into golf, skiing, hiking, or craft beer, you'll fit right in. Reason number 9 is the next one that's closest to my personal heart. Let's talk about equity and investment potential. Reno's homes have appreciated approximately 68% over the last decade. We're beating national average and tracking close with major tech metros. With all the new job centers and the steady flow of migration coming here, we're expecting another 15 to 20% in equity come 2027. So for buyers that are looking to relocate, you're not just saving money, you're literally buying into growth. And number 10, why families are making the move now rather than later is all about scarcity and timing. You don't want to wait for all those headlines to announce the next wave. And there's another reason why you need to know that the inventory that we have here in the Reno market generally stays below 3 months. Builders are scrambling, and that's because the demand that's coming from those California buyers is still really strong. So what's affordable today won't be in a couple of years. So the smart money, well, they're getting ahead of the curve, and they're making that move now rather than wait another year when those neighborhoods that are most desirable are going to be a lot less affordable. But let's recap the cost of living in some quick down and dirty numbers. Reno's cost of living index is at 118. That means if we take the national average across the country for the affordability index, we run at about 18% above a lot of metro areas. Los Angeles, on the other hand, is at 150%. In San Francisco, well, it came in at a whopping 165% the national average. That makes it about 40% less expensive to live here versus San Francisco or LA, and with no income taxes, you're giving yourself a permanent, real raise that will make a huge difference in the coming years. So if you've ever considered moving to Reno and you have more questions, all of my information from my team and I are down below. We live here, we work here. We know which neighborhoods are overheating and which ones are overhyped. You can call, text, or grab a link for a one-on-one strategy to answer all your questions of what your move would look like. We'll break down the neighborhoods, the schools, the lifestyle, and the timing that best fits your situation. Absolutely no pressure, just real answers. And if you want to continue to receive real talk about Reno's real estate and where the city's headed, hit that like and subscribe and smash that bell. I'm Chris Raynor, your go-to realtor for all things Reno and for that coffee that tastes like ambition. We'll see you on the next one.